Hello everyone, Sire here. I am looking at, or you're looking at some Christmas paper here, and I'm just going to talk for a little bit and explain what this video is about. This video is kind of, or is more geared towards people who are maybe not professional crafters, or I'm being very careful how I word this, but just people who are either new or people maybe who feel anxious about making cards or nervous. And and how I came upon this was just when I made a card, and sometimes when I make cards, I always feel like it's not good enough. It's not what everyone else is doing. There's amazing people out there, and sometimes it actually can deter me from creating anything because I know that right now, as a beginner myself, I won't be able to do those without practice. And so even to create a simple Christmas card can become tedious. And as I was thinking this, I realized that I cannot be the only one who has this feeling, because as we all know, or I can tell you, is that we are all very similar, and if you feel you have something that bothers you, there's a good chance that there are lots of people out there that also have that problem. So we are kind of the same in that regards. So I was just having a rough day one day, and I realized that, you know what, I just want to create a video for those people who may feel the same as me, where I just feel so overwhelmed and just don't know where to start, or I just get discouraged. And so I'm going to try to create a video using this paper pad, these two, that I got from Michael's. And the reason I picked this is because a lot of people have Michael's around and they can easily just grab one of these. I actually purchased mine online, so I didn't need to go into the store during this time. But I ordered mine online, and I just want to do this with you guys. So you guys can more than welcome grab these items as well and tag along. And I'll probably break this video up into little sections and just kind of make a little mini series. This won't be my Christmas quote unquote series. It's just a series that I felt compelled to make just because I want to help anyone that's also feeling the same way as I do sometimes. And so if you are not in that situation, maybe this video will be a little more I don't want to say boring, but it may be a little more slow pace. So I understand that this is not for everyone, but I just want to get this out to show that anyone can do it. It doesn't matter. This video is definitely going to be no perfection. We just keep going. Just keep going and see what we can create. And I did pick this one because it is a 6x6. If you have a 12x12 of this pattern, that works too. Just cut into fours and you can tag along. There will be some that are a little different, but let's just keep it nice and simple. And to keep it with that tradition of simplicity, I am not going to add any bells and whistles because I want it to be, that's the other thing. And I'm sorry for rambling to get this started, but the other thing is we always feel like we need to buy everything. And I'll tell you this, I fell for that, and I keep thinking I can't make cards until I buy what everyone else has, because they're showing these amazing cards and I don't have those products. But what I realized is when I bought them, I didn't use them because I wanted the next thing. And that was really fascinating to me when I realized, wait a minute, I'm just growing a collection and not even using anything. So I don't want you guys to go purchase a bunch of stuff. If you have it, let's use it. So don't go out and buy too much. If you have Christmas paper already, use it. But I wanted to buy this. I bought this not because of this video. I actually purchased it because I love pattern paper. But it just worked. It just happened that my thought process and this paper came at the exact same time. So that's why I'm going to use it. And this paper is just a bunch of Christmas colors that seem to match. These were purchased this year, but like I said, if you can use any colors you want, you can use any paper you want. Just don't feel like you can't make a card that looks good without spending money on a bunch of products. But I will also say that don't not buy something because you feel that you'll waste it. Just use your judgment, right? There are a lot of great products out there, and maybe just buy one here and there. Nothing wrong with that, but make sure you use what you buy, because if you're like me, you might get sucked in and buy a bunch of stuff that you don't end up using. So that being said, I'm going to keep it really simple for you guys. I'm going to use this pattern paper, and I'm going to use this as my mats. So there's all these colors, and it is linen, so I wanted to play with that. So let's get started. And like I said, I will break this into many different parts, just so that's not a big long video. So what I'll start with doing first is I'm just going to go through the paper. So grab your paper, whatever paper you want to use, and let's just open it up. And the reason we want to do this is because if it's like me, I fell in love with the paper for some particular reason. It's not just because I need to have it, right? There's something about it that drew my attention. So what I want you to do is just take out all the pieces and just look at them, right? What is it about it that you like? So we have, and I'm going to flip it so that we have both. So just admire the paper. I know this seems silly, but just get yourself back into why you bought the paper, because when you bought it, you probably had ideas of what you could have used it for. You got excited. You loved it. Maybe it brought a good feeling. Well, let's get that feeling back in you again. So by looking at the paper, you're going to get excited again. You're going to start feeling like, look how beautiful this is with the little coffee cups. You're going to start feeling like, oh yes, this paper, I can think of so many things, like maybe we can cut this out and use that as an embellishment. Look at the beautiful snow and the plaids. So those two. We have some beautiful craft with another snowman, and it just maybe brings back some beautiful childhood memories of making snowman. We just have so much love for the paper that we bought, and so we just want to look at it. Beautiful sentiments, the traditional colors. It's going to be a magical Christmas. Holly with green and red. Use those as backgrounds. We have some beautiful sentiments. Maybe we can cut a strip and make a scenery just on those, or mittens that are hanging from a mantle. These are really, really beautiful pattern papers, and that's why I purchased it, because first of all, Christmas is just awesome. Christmas and winter just brings so much memories, and when you look at this paper, at least in my opinion, my mind, it just bombs me with all loving stories and memories of the past, of what I've done and what is to come. Beautiful poinsettias. I know my mom and my grandma always had poinsettias on their tables at Christmas time. And you get some more plaids. Presents. Everyone loves presents with beautiful green and red colors. I'm hoping by now you're kind of feeling it. You're kind of getting this sense of remembering why you bought this pattern paper. And look at that, the truck. That's a very symbolic Christmas item now. Everyone has those trucks, the red pickup truck with Christmas trees or presents in it, right? Spellbinders, I believe, has a lot of dies on that if you're interested. Beautiful sentiments with all the beautiful things about Christmas, cookies, feeling frosty, giving that sense of Christmas and snow, holly jolly, Christmas music. This would work really well for sentiments and break aparts. These are all little pieces that you can use on your cards. And then I just saw the back of it, and it's a nice sweater. I'm not going to say ugly sweater because that's a beautiful pattern. And then you have another cutaway. These ones are a little more attached to the background, but it doesn't mean you can't cut them out or make a scenery, right? Just fussy cut these things out. Be creative. Those are awesome. All these images can be put on other cards. And these are just ideas that are coming in my head. And of course, the last one, beautiful snowflakes. So that's it. I hope that kind of brought you back into why you had purchased your paper pads in the first place. Get excited about it again. Remember why you purchased it. And hopefully, as you were doing that, you kind of created ideas of how you would want to use these pattern papers. Maybe there's an ornament you want to make. Maybe there's gift cards or even just gift tags. Lots of things that you can create with pattern paper, and this is why I love pattern paper. If you're like me, I buy it, I love it, and then I put it away because I feel overwhelmed. Okay? The next thing we want to do is look through the pattern paper and just pick out maybe 2 or 3. And I'm just making this up as I go along. Don't think I have any method to this. I just start hitting record and I'm just going at it. Pick the ones that really stand out to you. It doesn't matter if you know how to use it. Just which piece, like which 3 really drew you. Like I can tell you right off the bat that this one with all the words is the one that I like the most. It really drew me. It really caught my eye. And so I'm going to put this one aside because that is the one that I really enjoyed. And without thinking about anything else, what other ones did you like? You just go sifting through them. I kind of like this one, this beautiful sweater type pattern. So I'll put that one aside. And then I'll just pick one more, not really thinking about how to use it, because I may not use it. I just want to get into the patterns or just get into the feel of what really drew me, what I really liked. And the nice thing about buying the pattern papers is that all the match anyways. So even if you want to use it, they all match. And I think that this is the one that I liked. Actually, this one's really cute too. Oh, those are both really cute. So you know what? I'm going to take both of them just because they're both equally cute. Okay. So now that we've done that, and this is, like I said, you don't need to do this. This is just to try to get the ball rolling on what to do on these. Okay, so now you have these 4 pieces that you really liked. Okay. I said I like this one the most, so I'm going to try to work with this one. Okay. Without an idea of what I'm going to do, I'm going to work with this one. The ones that seem to work, I can say is probably the green sweater. I can work with that. And I really like this snow globe here. So I may be able to use that as well, right? That could be my focal point. So I'm going to put those aside, and I'm going to put this one aside just in case. I'll put it aside for now. So these are the three I'm going to think about working on, okay? Now, the other suggestion that I have is working with card sketches. They will help you through getting through that hurdle. Because sometimes we just don't know how to lay it out. And for me, when it comes to pattern paper, sketches are the best because they are designed, I think, in my opinion, specifically for pattern paper. So I personally have printed out a lot of my favorite thing sketches. You don't need these ones. You can use any card sketches. There are a lot out there. But for me, I just picked one and I printed a bunch of them. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to look at these designs and find one that will work well with these. And since I was thinking about maybe taking this little guy out, I'm going to find one that maybe has a circle in the design. And like I said, I'm not going to follow anything in particular, just whatever speaks to you. And maybe this one. Maybe my favorite thing's number 376. So I already stated that I want to use this as my focal point. And I'm not going to cut, I like to follow along. So I'm just going to fussy cut this one out. You don't need to be exact. You just have to follow it any way you want. You can leave a space. I like a little bit of the blue, but you can also cut right as close as you want. And there's no wrong way to do this. Really, like you can cut pieces off even by accident, and it's only you that's going to know, because for anyone else, maybe the design was just like that, right? So don't beat yourself up. Just always be happy with every little decision or undecision that just happens to come, okay? The whole point is we don't want to discourage ourselves from stopping. We obviously like making cards. We obviously like being artistic. I think everyone needs to be more creative, more than ever. Let's stop thinking so much and let's just get creative. I think the world is missing a lot of creativity. And if we can all just do that, I think it would maybe be very beneficial for all of our sakes. Maybe make us less wound up. And but like I said, this is how I feel, so I'm kind of speaking on my feelings, so you can totally ignore that. So I'm just going to trim this a little bit, and so there you go. There's just the snow globe. You can, like I said, you can trim off the blue because there's no blue on any of these designs, or you can keep it. You can also cut just around the flowers if you wanted, so there's not much green or brown. If you want to go really crazy, you can just cut out just the snow globe, but do whatever you like. It doesn't matter. So that's my piece that I'm going to use. Now, when it comes to these, I like doing a lot of matting, okay? So that means that every piece here is going to have a matte layer to it. And so what we have is we're going to have the whole card, we have a piece here, and then we have a strip. And I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to cut these pieces up and show you what I've done. Okay, so I cut the paper up. I use a paper trimmer just to speed things up, but you can use a ruler and pencil and scissors, but I assume most of us do have a paper trimmer of some sort, whether it's a guillotine or just one of the paper trimmers. But I did that off camera, and as you can see, if you see this example here, there was the main piece, there's this large piece, a small piece, and then the circle, which is my sentiment. So I will mat everything, and it's going to be, I believe it's 1/8 of an inch on both sides. So a 1/4 inch larger than this piece, and then you center it, and then you get the 1/8 of an inch on both sides all around. So I do that a lot with my pieces. I do love matting. The other option you can do, if you have inks, you can ink the edges. That does the same kind of idea. And then here's my other piece. I've cut it so that it's not a full 5/12. So the design says 5.5. Sorry, 5.5, not 5/12. But instead, since I'm going to have the green border around anyways, I just cut it down to 5.25, so that it just sits on top, and then I don't have too many layers. Okay. The little difference is I decided I'm going to use this piece of red, and I'm just going to have it to the side here like that, and I don't need it matted, just because it already has kind of its matting definition, right? It kind of looks like the separation. And the reason you kind of want to do matting is it just helps separate the busy patterns. So let's just glue these down, and then we'll start moving forward. This paper does have linen on one side and smooth on the other side. So I'm going to use the linen side. I just want a little bit of texture. You can use liquid glue. You can use a tape runner. You can use an ATG gun, foam tape. There are so many different options. You can do whatever you want. Go crazy. But like I said, I'm going to keep this very basic just so that I use the items that any person who's crafting has. I mean, these are the basics that you kind of have to have if you want to craft in the first place. Can't go much without glue, scissors, and paper. So let's just stick with those. Anything else is bonus. And I mean, I can show what it looks like with other cards, but I do want to keep it nice and simple. If I actually had enough time and enough paper, I could have done multiples of the same card, just to kind of give you show you what the difference is, and then it can kind of tell you where you want to spend your money, because like I said, it gets pretty tricky. There's a lot of cool stuff out there, and if you're not careful, you could buy something you just don't end up using. And to me, it's sad when that happens, just because you could have spent that money on something that you would have used and really enjoyed working with. Pattern paper definitely is one of those caveats that I get excited about, and then I don't use it because I get overwhelmed. And then you don't get to use the really pretty paper that you purchased. You just kind of get overwhelmed and you don't use it. Okay, so for this piece, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on the edge here, because I did cut it a little bit longer or wider so that I could tuck it under like that. Okay. And I can tell you right now, I made the mistake of I wanted the texture side to be faced up. Wasn't paying attention, but that's okay. Like I said, we'll just keep going. Get that as straight as possible, and then we can glue this down as well. And I'm following the design, that sketch, very closely. These sketches are always amazing. And you don't need to follow it exactly. You can do whatever you want, but that looks kind of nice. It has that nice transition of reds and greens. Green on one side, red on the other side. That's kind of cute. Okay. I want to kind of prop this up. Now here's the thing. I'm not going to use any foam tape. That would be the quickest solution. Instead, I'm going to use scrap paper. And you can use any scrap paper, but I'm just going to use the one that I have available. And what I'm going to do is kind of just cut this up so that I have a bunch of equal pieces. This is only if you don't have foam tape or you have a lot of scrap pieces that you can use up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack them up. So let's just round these up. You don't want this to show up. Another thing you can use is if you have foam, like I think you buy that at Michael's. It's foam sheets, and you can use those if you want. Sometimes they come with one side is like a sticker. A lot of people use those. So there's many options, but like I said, if you don't have anything like that, this is another alternative, and it's going to be very solid. So the more layers you put on, the higher, more solid it will become. So that's one benefit, because if you use foam tape, if you don't put enough, you can have parts that sag, like they kind of dip down. Okay, so we'll just glue these all up. It doesn't matter what they look like. It doesn't, because no one's going to see them. It doesn't matter if they're misshaped. The whole point is just create up a stack, and then we stick it behind. And then we'll just glue that on right in the center so you don't see it. If you do get any of the hanging over, a pair of scissors will definitely trim that down. And then we don't need to glue the rest of it, we just glue the back side. Now, actually, sorry, I do have a layer here as well. So I am going to just do one little thing, and I'm going to glue it on the just glue it on this side. You don't need to do this. The reason I like to do it is because from past experiences, when you have multiple layers, it's not smooth. So creating that one extra will just kind of lift this side up so that it's level with this pattern paper. I'll just place it right there. Okay. So you can kind of see that has a little bit of dimension. And the more pieces you add, the higher it will go. Okay. Now I do have my base here. And for now, I will just glue this down. And this is a perfect A2 size sheet. Well, at least it should be cut out that way. And so we just put that on and we just glue it down. And there you go. You have your very first card without needing any embellishments or anything like that. Now, of course, we could add other things. Like if you did have embellishments, we could add enamel dots, or we could add glitter and shine and stuff like that. Like you could get glossy accents and cover this whole thing if you wanted to. If you have a stamp with a sentiment, you can add that. You could also get a hole punch and you can add little dots. Another thing you could do is you could add little fishtail designs. So I could fishtail this scrap piece of paper and just add some design to it, right? If I had a piece of red, I can add more, right? So we can do what we want. Or even if I want it smaller. Like that. Right? You know, just to show you, I'm going to put it on. And this was just something that popped in my head. I mean, we can put it here. We can put it there. You know what? Let's put it here. Where it gets nice and hidden. Okay. So that's the first card. Okay, so that's it for this first video. I am going to break this video up into several little parts, but I hope this has gotten you a little bit into the mood or the mode, get your momentum going, creating those Christmas cards using those fantastic Christmas pattern papers that we have. So until the next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.